Woohoo, we're live. This is Math 60 Intermediate Algebra, and this is Chapter 3 practice test. And it's very, very exciting because there are only 4 problems on this test. Woohoo! So this is the practice test to get ready for Chapter 3. I recommend you try it on your own. It's online, it's on Canvas. Try taking it first because I'm going to go through, this is full of spoilers. I'm going to spoil every problem on the test and show you how to do it. Keep your colors nearby if you like them. Keep your support team there, and make sure you have a calculator because that is going to be very useful on this test. I'm going to move some things around. Okay, there's my helper. And the practice test, what I have done is I've copied down the problems and I've copied down the options. This is multiple choice and multiple drop down. And so this looks a lot like, these will be the same options you have with the online. It'll just be, it's not online. So first thing you'll notice is I say solve the system of equations, and then I don't have a brace. And that is because Canvas doesn't have a good way for me. Well, I don't know the good way to get it to print that. So we get it without a brace, but this is a system of equations. And the idea is I'd like you to take these 2 equations. This is from chapter 3. So this is sections 3.1 and 3.2. And you're welcome to use whichever method you prefer. There's elimination and substitution. And I'm going to go ahead and use elimination. If you are really, your brain is feeling sharp today, you might notice that you can actually reduce. Here, you could divide all terms in this equation by 2 and get a simpler equation. And that would allow you to use substitution as well. It's an option, but I prefer eliminations. That's what I'm going to do. When I eliminate, I want to look for one variable that's going to be easy to cancel out. Now, the x's aren't too hard, but I like the y's because one is negative and one is positive. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the y's here. And so I want to think about number which 2 and 3 both go into, and they both go into 6. That's the least common multiple. So up top, I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 3. I'm going to get 12x minus 6y equals 24. And the bottom equation, I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2. I'll get 12x plus 6y equals negative 12. And notice I did get the y's position to cancel. Now, I am sure, especially if you're under stress, your brain is probably noticing that 12x matches 12x. That's fine. There are lots of coincidences in the world, and especially in math. But remember that what we're going to do is we're going to add. And so when we add, they're not going to cancel out. 12 of something plus another 12 of something is 24 of them. The reason the y's cancel out is that one is negative and one is positive. So they cancel out. And then over here, I get 12. And then 24x all over 24 equals 12 over 24. So x equals 12 over 24, or 1/2. Now, woohoo, I'm very excited. X equals 1/2, but I'll notice that none of these are listed as fractions. This is because Canvas makes it really hard to format answers as fractions. So almost always when the answer is a fraction, you'll see in Canvas, your options are going to be decimals. So I'm going to write this as 0.5. So we want to find positive 0.5, which is right here. Notice there are a lot of options here. There's a negative 0.5. Don't be caught up. Just make sure you know what the answer is, and then go and select it. This is a good reason why you shouldn't try to do these problems in your head. You should definitely do it on a piece of paper so you can double check that the answer is in fact the one you're interested in. But that's not the only answer. This is a system of equations with 2 variables. So this is x, and now we need to still find y. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got 4x. Oops, that's not a plus. Well, that was exciting. Because try this again. 4x minus 2y equals 8. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the 1/2 there. I know you can take the math teacher out of the person, but you can't take the fraction away from the math teacher. So you guys are welcome to use the decimal. I write it as a fraction just out of habit. 4 times 1/2 is 2. 4 times 0.5, also 2. Minus 2y equals 8. Now I'm regretting choosing this one because y is negative, but that's okay. I will probably survive this. Probably. I think y equals -3. Let's go look. I see it right there. That's one of the options. Now, I may want to check. You are not required to check. All you're required to do is tell me what you think the answer should be. But I personally would like to check just to make sure I've got the right idea. So I've got x equals 0.5 or 1/2 and y equals -3. And I'm going to check the second equation, the 6x plus 3y equals -6. So 6 times 1/2 plus 3 times -3. Does that equal -6? So 6 times 1/2 is 3 plus a -9. Yep, that does equal -6. So it does check out. Woohoo! And we're only 6 minutes into the video and the first problem is done. Woohoo! Remember, of course, that because Canvas does change the order, sometimes this won't be the first one, even in the practice test. I haven't quite figured out how to tell it when to move things around and when not to. There's pretty much one thing that you check a box and everything moves, or you don't check it and nothing moves. So it's Canvas. Okay, so that's enough of that. Solve the system of equations. Again, I could not write the brace in, but we've got two equations. 4x equals 6 times the quantity y minus 2. And then 3 times the quantity 10 minus x equals 2y. Hopefully you notice this one's a little bit more sophisticated than the previous one. It's going to take a little bit more work. So this is the previous one. The first one I considered the easy problem on the test. This is, significantly more. What I'm going to do here is I'm probably going to multiply out. So I got 4x equals 6y minus 12. Here I get 30 minus 3x equals 2y. And then I realize what I really want to do is I want to bring the x's and y's together. So I'm going to take 4x equals 6y minus 12, and I'm going to subtract 6y from both sides. You don't have to do this, but I personally find it easier. Okay, so then I've got 30 minus 3x equals 2y. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add 3x on this one. This is just another way to do it. I get 30 on the left and then 3x plus 2y on the right. But then I can turn that around. I don't know if that's obvious. If it looks like an arrow or it just looks like I drew a big G. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to change the order. So I get 3x plus 2y equals 30. And that's a cool property that if you have two things that are equal, they're equal regardless of which one is written first. So all of this work is like the pre-work. Now I actually have a system of equations. 4x minus 6y equals -12, and 3x plus 2y equals 30. And now I can go ahead and start solving it. And again, I'm going to use elimination. But if you would prefer, you are, of course, always welcome to use substitution as well. I am yet again going to cancel the y's because in this case, the y's again have a plus and a minus, or sorry, minus and a plus. And I realize that 6 and 2 both go into 6. So in fact, I'm not even going to change the first equation. The first equation is going to look like this. On the second equation, I'm going to multiply by 3, so I get 9x plus 6y equals 90. And again, when I look at these and I add them together, those y's are going to cancel out. And so I get, 13x, not my favorite number. and then equals 78. And right now I am so glad I've got my calculator, because now I'm going to divide 13x over 13 equals 78 over 13. So x equals 78 divided by 13 equals 6. Nice. And I come up here and I see, it's a little high, but I do see right here at the end, x equals 6. Okay. Okay, so now I have to figure out what y is, and it's up to you if you want to use like one of these equations or one of the original equations up here to find y. I'm actually, let's see, do I have enough room? Kind of not. I'm going to use one of the original equations, because there's this one right here that says 3 times the quantity 10 minus x equals 2y. So I want to find y. So I do 3 times 10 minus 6 equals 2y. 3 times 4 equals 2y. 12 equals 2y, so 6 equals y. That's interesting. So they're both equal to 6. And I come up here, and sure enough, there's 6. Just because an answer is there doesn't guarantee it's true, but it does make me feel better when I can find the answer. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Seriously, I am like the anti-dirty dancing professor. I am always putting numbers in the corner. I always run out of room and then think, no, I can just do it in the corner. So I'm going to put x and y in the corner, and hopefully Patrick Swayze doesn't overhear. I have just used the second equation to find y, so I'm going to use the top equation to check. Again, you don't have to do this. I personally do it because it gives me, it makes me feel better. It takes me 1 or 2 minutes, and then I either know that either I got it right or I got it really wrong, but I got it wrong with all of my convictions, you know? If you're gonna be wrong all the way. Don't go halfway. So 4 times 6, does that equal 6 times y, which is 6 minus 2? So over here I get 24. Over here I get 6 times 4. Oh, even though it is in the corner, it's checking. Woohoo! So it worked. X equals 6, y equals 6, and we did it. And we're at 12 minutes, and we finished 20 out of 50 points. Woohoo! And unfortunately, now we go to the other stuff. Now, chapter 3 is the chapter where we get the first of the significant word problems. These are the word problems that we consider, for the most part, these are going to be mixture problems. You'll notice I just gave you mixture problems. There is a type of problem that is a distance, rate, time. I didn't put it on this test. Does not mean that it doesn't belong in this test. I just didn't want to make the test too long. So, but I didn't include it. So the 2 word problems that I put on the test, the first one is going to be what I think of as the science problem, where we're talking about milliliters and alcohol solution. I copied this exactly from the phrasing from the lecture. And number 4 is the investment mixture problem. You're investing money in 2 accounts. Both of these came straight from the lecture. You've had homework about them, so hopefully they feel fairly comfortable, and you'll be able to go into it feeling very confident. You are not required to do a chart. In fact, since this is all online and we are not taking this in person, unless for some reason I've left this video up and you are taking it in person, in which case you need to be more careful. But for the semester, when I'm creating this video, we weren't meeting in person. And so your notes are your own. I won't see them. However, I do think that the chart is useful for some people. So this is what the chart looks like. I'll remind you, there's a little smiley face or whatever you want in the corner. And I'm going to put the 2 solutions I'm mixing. I want to obtain 120 milliliters of a 30% alcohol solution by mixing a 20% alcohol solution with a 50%. Let's think about it. Does that make sense? 50 and 20 is going to give me something in the middle. 30. Yes, that makes sense. How many milliliters of each should I use? And then I've got the 20% alcohol solution, you choose one of those, and the 50% alcohol solution, you choose one of those. So the two that I'm putting in, the 20% solution and the 50% solution, and we're going to end up with a 30% solution. Going across the top, I've got amount, in this case, percent alcohol, because these are alcohol solutions. If this were acid, we do percent acid. And then the last one is the total amount of alcohol. And again, this is your chart, so put in what you need. If you don't need to put in, you know, I can't think of the titles, the headers, skip it. Do whatever you need to do to get through this. This is supposed to be a helpful way to organize your work. Okay, I'm going to go in and see what amounts I'm told. I'm told that I've got 120 milliliters of a 30% alcohol solution. 30%, here's the amounts. That's going to go right here. 120, and milliliter is written with a little m and a big L. Okay, I'm not told any other amounts, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to come in with an X and a Y because I think that's what many people do. You can use whatever letters you like. For percent alcohol, I know that this is 20%, so I'm going to do 0.2 or 0.20. 50% is 0.5 or 0.50, and 30% is 0.3 or 0.30. Remember that when we talk about percentages, we don't do math with percentages. We do math with decimals. So this is the decimal. All right, up here, decimal. This is the decimal equivalent to the percent alcohol. And then I'll remind you, as we're making these, as we move from left to right, we multiply. I multiply X milliliters times 0.2, which tells me how much alcohol is in this. So X times 0.2, and all I'm going to do there is I'm just going to write it the other way around, coefficient first. Same thing here. I multiply Y times 0.5. I'm going to get 0.5Y. And then this one's going to be 120 times 0.3. Well, that I can actually multiply. And I'm going to guess it's 36, but you know my brain, I'm not going to trust it entirely. Sometimes it goes on its own and, you know, has interesting things to say. So, but you were right. Yay, brain, kiss your brain. I've got 36 milliliters here. So out of 120 milliliters total of the solution, there's 36 milliliters of pure alcohol. So here's where we stand. The amounts need to line up. So if I add X plus Y, that's got to give me the 120. We're not doing the kind of chemistry where you would make something new, create some new something, precipitate or something. We're doing the kind of chemistry where if you have 120 milliliters, that had to be either in X or in Y when you combine them. Also, we've got 0.2x plus 0.5y, and that equals 36. Okay, we've got our two equations. Oops, my arrow didn't go far enough. And so I can start using, again, this works with, substitution or elimination. Now I'm going to do elimination because I love elimination, but the way I'm going to do it is in two parts. I know I have to get rid of these decimals just to make it easier. So I'm going to multiply by 10 in the denominator, that's funny, in the bottom equation, sorry. 10 in the bottom equation gives me 2x plus 5y equals 360. Now I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go, and I see that I'm already in danger of putting baby in the corner. So I am going to cancel the x's. I've got a 2x here. Let me multiply by -2, and then I've got -2x minus 2y equals -240. Remember, you have to multiply every single term in an equation by -2. And then I can add. And then this cancels. Woohoo. The y's, I end up with 3 y's equals, and it looks like this is going to be 120, or y equals 40 milliliters, I think. What do you guys think? Taking a second to hydrate. Hydrating is important. Woohoo. Okay. So if y is 40, wait a minute, x plus y is 120. So that means x plus 40 is 120, which means I'm almost out of room, but x must be 80, right? That's without checking. Let's come back up here. Wait a minute. Let me double check. Y is 40. Y is the 50%. So the 50% one is 40. That's right here. And x is 80. X was the 20%. That's the 20% alcohol solution. There's 80 right there. Woohoo. Now, if you do want to check this, and let's see. I know, I start out writing all big. I got to plan this out better because then I end up with no room left. I'm very excited about math. Plus, I have trouble seeing, so I tend to write big. Let me do a little check right here. And again, I'm putting baby in the corner. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want to check. So I'm going to check. I already know that this one works. I'm going to check this equation. 0.2x plus 0.5y equals 36. So 0.2 times 80 plus 0.5 times 40. Does that equal 36? So 0.2 times 80 is 16. 0.5 times 40 is 20. That equals 36. Now, why do I check when the answer was here? Well, I know math teachers, and I know myself. And might I have cleverly put in answers here that you could get to if you made a little mistake? Yes. Yes, I probably did. So just because the answer is there does not mean it's correct. It is a good sign if the answer is there, but it isn't a guarantee. So double checking, doing little checks, very important. Okay, woohoo. We're at 22 minutes. This is pretty good. And we're on the last problem. And again, I'll remind you, for the full test, when you're taking it online, you get 90 minutes. In class, you only get 60 minutes, 50 to 60, depending on what the timing is. So you get a lot of extra time online. And I figured that I give you the extra time because translating from online to paper and paper back to online, that takes some time. So you get extra time for that. Okay, this is the investment problem. A total of $80,000 was invested in 2 accounts for 1 year. This is a mixture problem. If the first account earned 7.5% and the second account earned 25%, ooh, I would be really cautious about this one. Anyone who's offering you a 25% return, there's something going on there, something interesting. How much should be invested in the first account? Notice I only ask you for one of them. How much should be invested in the first account to earn a total of this horrible amount, $17,375? So I've given you a very specific amount so you'll be able to solve exactly. Okay, let's set it up. Again, I'm going to take way too much room with my chart. We know how this is going to end. Baby's going to be in the corner. Oh, well. I'll keep Godzilla close in case Patrick Swayze shows up and gets annoyed. I wish I had 2 Godzillas right now because I could totally do the Godzilla. Here we go. I could do the thing, except the Godzilla's running backwards. Right, here's Godzilla, and there, and he does that beautiful scene from Dirty Dancing when I forget anyone's name, but they carry each other. Ooh, look, there, it's beautiful. Okay, never mind. Here we go. Okay, so rule number 1, don't record these videos too late at night or when you're very, 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 very tired. Okay, I've got two accounts. I've got a 7.5% account and I've got a 25% account. And then I've got the total or the sum or the mix. It's up to you. Again, this is just for you. If you're watching this video to prepare for an in-person class, then you want to take a little more care. Don't just write like orange soda here because it would confuse me. So use a word like mix or total or blend so that I understand how to read it. If you're taking this test online, I'm not going to see any of this work, so it's entirely for you. Okay, so we're going to do the money invested, which is also known as the principal, the interest rate, the percent, and of course I'm going to write this as a decimal since we're doing algebra with it. And this is going to be the interest. So we know that the total is 80,000, right? And I'll use green for that one because money. So there's 80,000 is the total. That goes here. And then next up, we've got to figure out, does it tell us anything about the other two? And it doesn't. So again, I'm going to use X and Y. And at this point, hopefully you're like, wow, this looks exactly like the previous problem. And the answer is yes, it is exactly like the previous problem. Except this one has 7.5%, which is a little bit less comfortable. It's written as 0.075, so not as much fun. 25%, not that bad. Now, we aren't told what the interest rate is on the total. What we're told is the total interest is $17,375. And remember, with the mixture problem, when we set up the chart like we do, we take the X times this amount. So we get 0.075X. And here we get 0.25Y. And that gives us that total interest of 17,375. Hopefully I did the calculation correctly when I wrote that. So just like before, I'm going to have two equations. I have the X plus Y equals 80,000. That comes from this. So this equation, hopefully I don't go too far into Smeary land. There we go. Pardon me. I've been working on that for days. I think I'm getting pretty good. I wonder if there's a coughing Olympics. Okay, second equation is going to be right here. 0.075x plus 0.25y equals 17,375. That's this guy. Now, this is not my favorite thing. This is actually a pretty good candidate for working with not elimination, but substitution. If you want to solve for X or Y and plug it in, especially if you're not uncomfortable, if you're pretty comfortable with decimals. I, on the other hand, am going to go ahead, and you know me and my total devotion to elimination. I'm going to try to clear this decimal. This decimal has 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 1,000. That's going to give me, and you can always double check on your calculator, right? 0.075 times 1,000. And that gives me 75. Yay, 75x, it worked. 0.25 times 1,000. Now, look at this. It doesn't just give you 25. It actually gives us 250. And then here's the bad news, and I went right off the side. But this number is going to get just humongous. 375 times 1,000. And here's the problem. When you clear the decimals, you end up with this number here, which is just almost a nightmare. Although if you're thinking about money, it's awesome. That's how much money Jeff Bezos makes every time he sneezes, I think. 375 with 3 zeros. Oh, baby's in the corner. I'm sorry, I'm in trouble. I will write that more nicely down here. I apologize. So if I'm going to cancel the X's or the Y's, I think I'm going to go for the X's again because that's a smaller number. So I'm going to multiply the top by negative 75. So I've got negative 75X minus 75Y equals 80,000 times 75. Now I'm going to multiply just by 75 because I know to put in the minus sign. And I get negative 6 with how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 million. So what I'm going to do, because these numbers got way too small over here, let me write them again for you right here. So I've got negative 75x minus 75y equals negative 6 followed by 3 zeros and then 3 more, 6 zeros altogether. 75x plus 250y equals 17375 and then 3 zeros. So 17 million. When I add the x's cancel, the y's, I end up with, I think, 175, but do I trust my brain? Not always, not when I'm under stress. 250 minus 75. Yay! And then we can party if we get it right. This one I am absolutely doing on the calculator. 17375,000 minus 6,000,000 gives me 113. Oops, my what? Look over there. Oh my gosh, is that a pterodactyl right outside your room? Right over there. Look over there. Okay. Oh, I guess it was nothing. Okay, just kidding. 11,375,000. Oh man, we're almost there. Okay. So y equals 11,375,000 all over 175. So y equals, this is very exciting. Oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of it, should I have? No. Like I said, don't do math. Don't do math when you're sleepy. Okay, so I get 65000, and then I panic because I look at this and I say, wait, 65,000 is nowhere on this. So I'm panicking, but then I calm myself down because I remember that this says how much should be invested in the first account. The first account is X. So all of these are X. Did I solve for X? No, I solved for Y. Okay, X plus Y was 80,000. So X plus 65,000 is 80,000. I think I just have I get some perverse joy over putting numbers in the corner. So X is 15,000. Oh, thank goodness, because that is there. Woohoo, it's right there. So I should choose that one. Now, can I check this? Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and check right here. So X is 15,000. So I'm going to do 0.075 times 15,000 plus 0.25 times, and then Y was 65,000, and the total, look at that beautiful, beautiful thing right there. Look at that right there. We did it. Yay. Headless Godzilla says, yay, congratulations. Yay, let's bring in Matt Damon. They'll do the dance. What is the Dirty Dancing dance where they spin around and she's up in his arms and it's beautiful, and I don't even know the songs. Okay, full disclosure, I've never actually seen that movie, but I just heard it. Anyway, I'll just have a regular dance party. Dun, 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 dun. We're done with chapter 3. This is very, very exciting. I'm excited. Matt Damon is excited. Godzilla is excited. I hope you guys are excited. I hope it made sense, and you guys will all get A's, and everyone will be happy, and we will bring out world peace, and everyone will love each other and sing kumbaya. And it all started with math. Math on, guys. Woohoo, and math on.